Everybody, I am Dr. Devashish from Child Trust Hospital. I am going to present an interesting case before you today. A 8-year-old female child presented to us with following complaint for the past 2 years. She had history of frequent fall on and up, inability to get up from lying down and squatting position, and difficulty in climbing stairs. His perinatal history was uneventful. It was a normal delivery and there is no issues in the immediate neonatal period, and all early developmental milestones he has achieved in time. When she came to us, we did a physical examination where the higher function was normal, all cranial nerves were intact, and the motor system examination revealed a proximal weakness, as his power was around 3 or 5 in the proximal muscle group, and all of the examination was almost normal. His DTR, the knee, ankle, and the upper limb reflexes were present. The superficial reflex, plantar, bilateral flexors, and abdominal reflex was present, and there was no calf hypertrophy. She also had a lumbar lordosis, and her Gower sign was positive at that time. This is the pedigree for the child. This is the black one is the index case, and his and there was no history of involvement involvement of neuromuscular disease in his maternal side, but in his paternal side, his father, 2 brothers and 1 sister had some difficulty in walking, but they were not so much affected, but there was some difficulty in walking, and none of the other family members were infected, and the child was born to a non-consanguineous parents. Then we did our initial investigation, which showed a CPK of 12,560. Echo was done, which was completely normal. The nerve conduction study was normal. The EMG was done, that showed a myopathic pattern, and other investigations were also normal. So we thought this may be some neuromuscular disease, and we did a muscle biopsy of the child. This is the muscle biopsy finding in the hematoxylin eosin stain.
Now, what you see here is the muscle fibers. I showed you how the normal muscle fibers are polygonal and opposed to each other, equal diameter. And on the contrary, what has happened here is you have some fibers which are very large, extremely large hypertrophic fibers. There is variation in the size of the fibers. These could be increase in collagenous tissue. There is enormous increase in collagenous tissue. There is also adipose tissue infiltration. And there are a good number of these small fibers in between. So if you have a picture like this, it points towards a muscular dystrophy. And you have done the other scans. This is a better section where you can see the features properly. The large hypertrophic fibers that several internally placed nuclei. This is a fiber which is undergoing splitting. You can see the split here, and these are the numerous small atrophic fibers. So, and of course the adipose tissue infiltration. So this is a muscular dystrophy. On biopsy, it is a muscular dystrophy. Now, what form of muscular dystrophy? You need to do the panel of all the stains for the various proteins. This is for dystrophin, and as you can see here, the labeling is not there on the fibers, so there is absence of dystrophin. This one is for the rod domain of the dystrophin. This is dystrophin 2, which is the C-terminal of the dystrophin. That again shows absence. And this is for the N-terminus of the dystrophin, and that also shows absence. Another field, I guess, the same absence of dystrophin. Okay, then the other immunos. So you know there are absence of dystrophin for all the 3 domains, the rod domain, the C-terminal, and the N-terminal, which is represented by 1, 2, and 3. And this is for the sarcoglycans, the other forms of dystrophin-associated glycoproteins. One of them is a sarcoglycan. So this is for alpha-sarcoglycan. You can see the labeling along the membrane. So this is preserved. This is for beta-sarcoglycan. This again shows preserved labeling along the membrane. So there is no deficiency of beta-sarcoglycan. And this is for gamma-sarcoglycan. Again, you can see the preservation of the protein along the membrane. And myrosin is also preserved. Okay, so the muscle biopsy, if you summarize the features of muscle biopsy, you have the dystrophic features, and when you do the protein analysis for this particular case, you find that dystrophin is totally absent, and of course the other sarcoglycans and the extracellular protein merosin is well preserved. So based on this, you can offer the diagnosis, and by this, you offer the diagnosis of a Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And he'll discuss the rest of the.
Thank you, madam. So now the muscle biopsy findings suggested Duchenne muscular dystrophy, but this is a female child. A 8-year-old female child presenting with proximal myopathy, and we got the impression of Duchenne muscular dystrophy from our muscle biopsy finding. So we proceeded to a genetic analysis, and this MLP analysis for the DMD gene was done. There is 79 exon by MLP analysis shows normal. The patient is not a carrier for any deletion in the DMD gene. Then we proceed to do the karyotype analysis of the child. The karyotype shows a chromosome analysis using GTG banding suggestive of derivative chromosome X resulting from a translocation between X chromosome and the chromosome 3. So, coming to the discussion.